on, people! Here we go! Some news headlines. Let's go. Hey, gun people. This is an interesting use of force because I'm not sure if color was involved, and they're not showing the color of the kid that shot this person. I'm guessing he's black because there's no outrage that a white person defended himself against a black guy. So there was a black criminal that tried to rob a store, and he started choking this 14-year-old's mom. And the mom, or the son, grabbed a gun and shot the guy in the face.
On a violent ordeal that played out in a Spring Garden pizza shop. Philadelphia police say a teenager took matters into his own hands as a would-be robber attacked his mother inside.
Detectives say the teenager shot the man, who then managed to make it a few blocks away before officers caught up with him.
Wow, officers caught up with him. They make it sound like the police were Johnny on the spot and caught the guy. The guy ran 3 blocks and was bleeding out because he got shot in the face by the armed citizen. And they go, police caught up to him, captured him, took him into custody. Yay, government. So the news is reporting that sources tell them what happened. I'm assuming this place had videotape. I don't know. But we got to go by sources because there's nothing transparent about government, truth, justice, and all the other crap that we're being fed.
Do tell us that the boy's mother was behind the register when that attempted robber came in and started to strangle her. That's when her son jumped into action. A 14-year-old boy shot an alleged attempted robber in the face on Thursday night in an effort to protect his parent, according to police.
Okay, so when you say he shot a robber, there's no mention that the robber was armed with a weapon. It sounds like it was strong-arm robbery because he grabbed her around the neck and started choking her. I'm not saying strong-arm robbery isn't justifying deadly force, but do you think they're going to ask a 14-year-old? Remember, we're always told ignorance of the law is no excuse. Do you think they're going to ask a 14-year-old, when you shot your mother, are you aware that the law states you must be in fear of your life and the fear of others? Are you protecting? Were you in fear? They're just probably not going to do that with a 14-year-old because common sense is when a kid sees his mom being choked, if he pulls out a gun and shoots it, that's a good thing. Now, if government could spin this somehow to make this the gun's fault and the guy was innocent, this guy had just robbed a CVSA before he came here. Also, the robber is black. So if there's any way to spin this as if the poor robber is the victim here, they would be doing it. So my guess is the shooter is black, the person he was choking is black, and so now they're kind of playing it off that, the cops caught this guy down the road because government's good.
I think most people would do that in that situation, to protect someone that they love, when they're being threatened so violently.
You shouldn't have to love somebody to be a good citizen and protect good against evil. That's called a community. That's being part. That's being together. That's how patriots made this country. Although patriot's a bad word now. They just arrested a couple guys in Texas over some bullshit at the riots. They're still arresting people over the so-called riot. It kills me how the Capitol shit was a riot. Nothing was burned. Nothing was stolen, and it was a riot. Yet every other city that was run by Black Lives Matter where places were burnt, looted, and stole, they called a peaceful protest. The lying media, how can anybody have faith in the media? I don't know.
Violently.
On Thursday, just after 9:45 p.m., police responded to a call about an attempted robbery in progress at Bold Pizza, a new pizza shop at the corner of 15th and Spring Garden.
I knew something popped off out here because the SUVs of the cop cars, they were just zooming back and forth.
When officials arrived,
popped off, for you guys don't know, I know something popped off. That means something happened. There was a big incident.
They discovered a large amount of blood on the floor, front counter, and tables.
Wow, blood on the floor and counter. Phew, that's a tough crime. You got a guy shot in the face, bleeding, and he runs out of the store. I wonder how the cops found him. What if they had some new CSI, freaking thermal? Maybe they just followed the freaking blood trail, you freaking crazy people trying to make the government look all great. Look how many cops are around now. You think any of these cops were here when a woman was getting choked? Of course not. You think all these cops were here when the crime happened if this guy would have killed her? Of course not. Government comes afterwards. Any of you idiots giving up your guns thinking that government will protect you, it makes you an idiot and probably a liberal, but those are the same.
An employee told police that a man entered, forcefully reached over the counter, and tried to take money from the register. The employee and the attempted robber started struggling, with the robber beginning to strangle the victim. Police say the victim's 14-year-old son grabbed a gun from under the counter and shot the suspect one time in the face.
I am very proud, and it's kind of sad that a 14-year-old had to shoot the suspect, but it was quick thinking.
I'm pretty sure, now I could be wrong, this could be a white kid, but I'm pretty sure if it was a white kid, they wouldn't have a black woman saying they were proud of him. Because being white now, you can't do anything right with this freaking so-called reverse racism. It's racism. Ain't nothing reverse about it. If you're judging people because of their color, you're a freaking racist. But even the word racist has lost its meaning. It's been morphed. But I digress.
And I'm glad that they were able to catch the person so fast.
Officers then followed a blood trail from the pizza shop.
So they really try to hide the fact that this is a black man. You can pretty much see right here. But watch how the media will cut every time they show his face. So he's pretty far out, and the media's like, oh, the stupid people, they probably won't know or they can't tell he's black. Okay.
Shop to the subway entrance around the corner.
They located
So his head's behind the thing here. Watch as soon as his head would move out into the light. Damn, the news suddenly breaks.
a shooting victim, a 33-year-old
Shocking. Wow. That was probably just by accident.
male, shot one time in his face. He was bleeding heavily.
Officials say the man matched.
Oh, they cut out the part where they loaded him into the lit vehicle to where we could see the suspect, and we only see his feet. Huh. Sure, that's just by accident.
The description of the pizza shop suspect. They also believe he took part in an
He fit the description of the pizza? That's how they found him? He fit. What was the description? A dude with blood running out of his face and a gunshot wound following a blood trail? And they needed a description of him? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, the way the media just promotes this subliminal government did all this fine investigative work. They were Johnny on the spot, and they caught the robber. They followed the freaking blood trail, and he was laying there bleeding out. He couldn't run. Are you freaking kidding me?
attempted robbery that occurred at a CVS 2 blocks away.
I think it's really a kind of an insane situation just to think that it's so like right around your neighborhood.
Wow, it's just like so right around, and that there's really crime and that there's guns, and it's just really weird. I just can't. Well, that's because you're a freaking idiot.
And as for that CVS armed robbery,
anybody else notice that her gloves seem extremely big? Either she has huge man hands or her gloves are about 3 sizes too big. But maybe I'm the only one to notice that.
Right around your neighborhood.
and as for that CVS armed robbery, police say that did involve 3 male suspects. They believe once that robbery failed, one of the suspects then jumped over to this pizza shop, and that's when everything happened. The suspect who was shot in the face is currently in the hospital in critical condition, and police are still searching for the other 2 suspects.
Now, this is the first time they slid in other 2 suspects, which means 3 or more people acting to commit a crime with the goal of a crime could fall into a gang. Rick, you can't say that. You can't say gang, you can't say thug, you can't say criminal, you can't say piece of shit robber. You have to say Black Lives Matter. All right, we'll end that there on a good note. Black Lives Matter. Y'all have a good one.